The match, this is it. Towers of Doom, here we go. Conbox SEA up against Resurgence. Who has the first pick and ban? It will be Resurgence because I think, yeah, Conbox picked this battleground, right? We talked about that just now. Not sure if it is actually going to be that case, but the picks and bans are somewhat wrong. We may actually need a remake. Unless the information fed to me was wrong. Because Conbox, oh, the sites are wrong. No way Resurgence bans 0-2, right? We gotta confirm now.
Well,
okay.
We do have the Zeratul ban, which was pretty consistent with what Conbox did against Resurgence multiple times.
Okay, so there is the Tesla ban. Don't want to deal with that. The Zeratul ban, just pure respect for Zappy on that hero. And then we have also got the Murden pickup by RSG.
All right, so we see the Tassadar ban, which kind of means Tracer is far less of an option. It's not impossible, but very rarely will you see Tracer without a Tassadar. Maybe a Zarya, but highly unlikely. You do leave open the Vala and Zarya, but we see the early Murden pickup. This is something that is very reminiscent from several events last year, to where you have really strong teams, really strong meta. And Murden seems to always find his way to the top. We see Falstad. We're going to need a Dahaka to match the global.
We do need to. We do need one Dahaka, so probably one Dahaka served right up for Resurgence. By the way, the sites were wrong just now. Now it's correct. Resurgence on the left, Conbox SEA on the right. Falstad and Malfurion. Very standard staple picks here for Towers of Doom. Also because they are very good heroes themselves.
Yeah, Falstad, he can do well in the solo lane, contribute a lot of control, a little bit of damage. Malfurion post level 4 has a Loon's Grace, very good at interrupting altar channels, and basically one of the best supports all around. So good start to the draft, I think, for both teams getting what they want, but Resurgence has to decide. We saw Chromie, game number 1 of the last set. Chromie, again, this is an outside chance. You might want to go on that. She does really well at controlling around those altars.
Okay, Greymane. That's a pretty good pick as well. Karazim. We saw Julian play Karazim in the Eastern Clash. He even made top highlights on the Divine Palm. Not sure if this is going to be the same type of a Divine Palm, but or maybe even going for 7-sided strike, but probably the Divine Palm. Do note that in the last match, in Towers of Doom, the second ban was actually, let's see. It was the Karazim. All right, it was the Karazim that got banned just now in the Towers of Doom match. So right now they have to change a ban here for Conbox.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I'd be afraid. I'm not sure if it's necessarily in their repertoire, but this is a potential dive comp. And Tyrael is a very threatening hero.
Right.
He's not as common in this weekend's meta, but he's definitely a hero that has seen some action. I would be a little bit afraid of that being something. Tyrael does take care of your solo laner, unless you leave that to Greymane. Instead, they're going with the Li Ming ban.
This is just reminding me of what happened last qualifier. Li Ming, 93,000 damage on Yu Yang. I didn't know it still hurts today for this team. But regardless, you're right. It could be a dive comp. Tyrael could be good. We have Tyrael plays on Resurgence. Murden could be easily played by Yu Yang. And then you have CW playing that Tyrael. Still very, very flexible team here. Arthur's getting banned out. Could be a sign of what you said.
Yeah, with Arthas being banned, it opens the door for ETC, which can still have pretty good effect. If you can kind of play around that, it's not that big of a deal. Again, Karazim post up until 16 doesn't necessarily have the cleanse. So, and that's even optional at that point. So they are going to ban the Arthas. Zarya, still something to consider, I think, probably for both teams right now.
Still an option. Zarya does really well in Towers of Doom, but guess what? 2 more picks for Conbox SEA. The thing here is they may want to decide to deny the Chromie as well. I think Chromie could also be an option for Resurgence. They don't have the Falstad. What is Capricorn going to play? He played Tesla one game, the game in which they lost. He also played Chromie. And in the last one, I think he was playing that Kill Thus. Not going to see a Kill Thus here. Don't think so.
I feel like Ragnaros might be a likely choice to solidify that front line. Conbox has played multiple times.
Yep.
And they've actually played it really well. I think Yeah, that's many, many times they've played Ragnaros. So it's an option. With all the assassins that are off the board, Greymane, we might look at something like Tychus to supplement that back in the back. So ETC, obviously the warrior of choice.
All right, so ETC getting picked up here by Conbox. And Gul'dan, we talked about this. He has been banned a couple of times. Here, instead, banning out the Testar and letting the Gul'dan go through Arthas as well. It just bothers me a little bit because you banned the Arthas, Conbox picked up the ETC, you were right. ETC now is not going to be as bothered, but do you go Chromie here?
I think one of the scary things about Chromie is, again, ETC, you don't have a cleanse until 16, and if there's a mosh pit, you're not exactly diving in as Kharazim. I think that's one of the reasons why we saw Li Ming banned out, that Wave of Force, not an option. So you might need a hero that can commit to interrupting potential mosh pits, helping out in times that ETC's trying to slide in, else you have issues there. Again, Tyrael...
Tyrael's going to be good.
Tyrael would be good, I think, in this comp, but you need to find somebody that can have interrupts. It's not a 100% necessity.
Vala?
Oh, Vala is still available.
Vala's going to be pretty good as well. Vala, Tyrael could be a potential lineup here. Solo Kharazim healer. I think that's okay, but it really depends here on what the pick is. Let's see, Chromie, Anubarak. All right, so Anubarak can also somewhat counter the ETC. I think that he cannot burrow charge into Mosh Pit, right? That's not possible. Does not have Unstoppable in him. So he's going to have to use the Impale, which is fine. Chromie, on the other hand, could be looking at slowing Sands to just really slow down the ETC.
I think the scary thing here is Gul'dan is a very delicate hero because he uses the life tap, which means he takes his life to give himself more mana, which is how he does damage. So, Malfurion, it's scary. It's really scary when you talk about prioritizing heals. Chromie, we already saw what Capricorn did in Game 1. If you missed the Grand Finals, obviously it was a rubber match.
Okay.
It was terrifying. Talk about controlling the globals.
Double global there. You're right. Okay, so Dahaka to round up the draw here for Conbox. We also got the ETC. And also the false stat, so they have got some good globals there. Not sure. I don't think it's going to be stage dive. I really don't think so. They have got more than enough mobility already in terms of global. But still, the Haka with the flang could be dangerous for Resurgence.
Yeah, especially on Chromie. So it's going to be up to Chromie to put her time traps in those flank positions. And because there are many, there's not necessarily a lot. Some of them are predictable. So if you're positioning one way, you can put it in a bush behind you, things like that. And that way, it's like, wait a minute, Tahaka's coming out. We're fine. You'll hear it. You'll see it when it's activated. So if he doesn't come in one, then you know it's going to be the other. So it's kind of a way to, even if it doesn't come into the bush that you planted it in, you know that if you hear it, it's going to be in the other one. So awareness like that, it brings a lot of control. It's like a pseudo vision type deal. So there are a lot of things like that. Again, the ETC does scare me a little bit. Gul'dan doesn't necessarily have the huge burst damage. Falstad, I'm really curious if we're going to see the auto attack build or the mage stat build.
I think it actually might be the right-click build, and it will be. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Rubber set game number 1. Resurgence versus Conbox SEA. On the blue team, Resurgence, your defending champions, Yu Yang will be on the Greymane, Julian on the Kharazim, Zappy on the Anubarak, Capricorn playing the Chromie, last but not least, it will be CW on the Murden.
And on the right side is going to be Conbox. Let's see if they can bring it back together to take home the championship. That is going to be stronger on Malfurion, Inavir already brush-knockering on Dahaka, Mir on ETC, Zaze on Gul'dan, NSJ rounding it out on Falstad.
Okay, so CW here spots out the Dahaka. Doesn't look for any fight. Okay, it's a stun and again. Oh, predicted now. They know. This is Conbox 2.0 already.
All right, we're seeing another Q build for Chromie, which means that it's likely going to be piercing, jumping in, getting a bit of damage onto Falstad, but it's likely going to be the piercing. And this is something you got to be a little bit more careful about with Murden. You can play that anchor, but ETC already looking for those picks.
Mur, a little bit of trouble to lock down is real. Mur is able to slide back up, but Julian gives chase. Yu Yang, though, not going into Worgen form. A little bit dangerous. Zay sidesteps again, Chromie. So she went for Sand Pierce, right? Piercing Sands.
This is Piercing Sands will be at level 2 if you do go that. CW. The first one is the questing talent, which increases the damage, and you get bonus damage when you complete after 25. So at level 2, which is her level 4, we'll see it should be Piercing on Towers of Doom. It's the normal choice, I say, to help get the interrupts, and she does go that.
Okay. So, level 2, both sides. And Capricorn still trying to land those Sand Blast and Dragon Breath. Murdo on that Fat Pig.
I'm a little bit surprised. All right, so Gul'dan's going Fell Flame build, which has kind of been, new meta, but you're going against a pretty melee-heavy team. And I feel like Corruption could have done really well against that. I mean, you're trying to hit Chromie, who will outrange your Q, so you're not getting that necessary value. You're not necessarily making sure you hit Karazim on the back line. Greymane will be postured up a little bit, so the value is not there. But Dahaka using that Brush Stalker.
Zace dropping very, very low. Will be alive somehow. CW does not have a Dwarf Toss. Looks like he's going to go down. Julian, though, a little bit out of
jump
spot.
target.
It's going to get it. It's going to get it. Looking for the Chromie. Waiting for the Radiant Dash.
There it is.
Okay, could have been a little bit better if he was a bit further behind, but still, Capricorn needs a little bit warm up. It just seems possible because this team, we saw those skill shots land a little bit late in the game.
That was a gutsy call there. Nubarek's already up at the top to disrupt the false stab. He's about to be collapsed upon, but Stronger being zoned out by Chromie. Zay zoning out.
All right, we need to look at the top ulters right here. CW against Murtis is not going to work out on the other side, and Nubarak is going to come back here. And Ever trying to do something, but the backup is almost on the way. They don't have Gul'dan nearby, so got to be very careful. Julian comes in a little bit low in the mana, but should be okay. CW again playing very aggressively. Zace now, oh, the drag does not have Avatar. CW does go down. Capricorn is forced to give this one up right here, and Conbox looks like they are set to pick up a secondary ulta. NSJ finally takes some damage.
Actually, Chromie can posture up to the top. Or I'm actually a little bit confused. You can actually posture up above that top wall because you went Piercing Sands. You can still reach it from here. It's a little bit more difficult, but you can land it.
Oh, value. NSJ. Oh, by then you have Stronger.
Yeah, so what you have to do, you have to stagger them so that you don't get hit in a Piercing.
I don't know. We had Anub on top. Zappy did not use the Impale. Or maybe he did. It's on cooldown. It's a little bit sad. Okay. So it doesn't matter. It's only 4. But every points do count. 32 against 36 right here. And game goes on.
I believe that is the Essence talent for Dahaka, where you get more Essence on kills. We'll get to that in a moment, because they are turning onto NSJ, who might have bit off a little bit more than he could chew. CW going in. He's going to pay the price for it. Chromie not able to confirm a kill, but I believe that is the talent for Dahaka. So he is planning on getting some extra kills.
He is. And here, 32 against 36, still 6 minutes in both sides. That was a little bit of a waste there, jumping in quickly from the Murder, and CW there, missing the stun. Unfortunately, couldn't get the lockdown on NSJ. They were able to flank it quite well, but here you see the instant pick on the mercenary camps here by Conbox SEA. This is an aggressive camp, by the way. Julian has to be a little bit careful. I don't think he's going to be able to stop this one.
Yeah, so both teams have actually traded a little bit of damage in that bottom lane, which tends to be the more valuable one as the game goes on for map control and very long-winded discussions if you talk about the long-term macro game. So we'll keep an eye on that as the game goes on, but a little bit of experience advantage in favor of Conbox as they have 4 kills to 0. But next altars here, the power slide, the roots.
Perfect follow-up. CW though.
Oh my.
Still alive. The fly from NSJ. Okay, CW needs the Dwarf Toss. Lands the Thunderclap, and it's going to be a kill regardless. Zappy now swings by a little bit too slow here. The Mur does not have a slight. Do they want to go for a kill? Don't think so. And skill shots just flying in all different sorts of directions. A single ulta, global on top. Dahaka soaking the lane.
Conbox coming out with a vengeance. 5 kills to 0. The power of ETC. I mean, you banned Arthas, assuming you were going to dive. He's got great control. There's another power slide.
Oh,
and going to walk away, but Stronger obtaining the altar.
Okay, nearly getting there, but Capricorn dropping so low. No heals there whatsoever. Resurgence again off to a very slow start, and 8 hit point lead here for Conbox SEA.
Yeah, and furthermore is that Dahaka actually rotated down a little bit slower, which allowed them to obtain even more experience. So they got an extra wave, got a little bit more control up top. So Conbox in control here in game 1.
Very much so. Murden on top, trying to soak a little bit. And again, we talked about playing your opponent's game, and don't do that. Is he going to be aggressive? You got to be very careful there. It's a fort at the end of the day. But we talked about this before, Jay How. You want to make sure you stay on your own game. So what's the plan here for Resurgence?
Oh, Resurgence right now, I mean, they pick Chromie, so you got to play to that. Julian, of course, with no cleanse, you're going to see the power slide in here. The slowing sands are going to help. The corruption hitting quite a bit. Falstad flying in. They're almost 10. And right now, what they need to do is stop stepping out into lanes. I mean, they're just staggering deaths over and over again. They're getting caught out. They have no cleanse. They don't have the same type of mobility that they want to have. It's just play to Chromie's strengths, play around the altars, and stop giving up stuff in the meantime. It sounds simple, but for whatever reason, they're making it very difficult right now.
Almost level 10 for Resurgence. They're going to have to be a little bit more patient right here. 7 minutes in, and you see the Murden rotating down to the mid area. Okay, this camp is just a deny. It's not going to achieve much at all because almost everyone on the team is in his position. They're looking for an early boss for a good lead here. This is a great call.
They have 10 and they have Falstad, so it's a pretty easy call to make right now while Resurgence is busy dealing with stuff in the bottom, so things are about to go from bad to worse.
The root again, stronger, man. The root's so on point. CW with the avatar, but it's not going to hold. But Julian goes in. The drag is going to connect. The palm goes in as well. The boss does go down at the end, but at what cost? Zappy giving chase against Zace. Needs to be a little bit careful. That's an Anubarak. It's not going to hold on forever. No palm, by the way. Mur dropping very, very low. The stun does connect, and boom, baby, 3 men down.
If you ask me how that happened, I'm not really going to have a good answer for you, but it all started with Avatar and Murden being the unkillable beast that he is. Overcommitment, I think a little bit on Conbox's side, feeling pretty good about that, but stage dive instead of mosh pit blows my mind. You already have 2 globals. What is the use of the third? Are you really hitting that back line? You have 0 interrupts for mosh pit outside of melee heroes that are already on the front line.
It could be because he's not comfortable with mosh pit.
I'd feel pretty comfortable going up against the team with like no worrisome interrupts.
Okay, so also there's other factors at play here. Slowing sands, you know, you may not have the best positioning for that mosh pit, but with stage dive, you jump on top directly on the Chromie. Things can change very, very fast. All right, they go both ways, ignoring each other completely.
I'll slide over, you go under.
It's like a little take off the Chinese Kung Fu movie there. Man, Jackie Chan movies. All right, so we have Greymane mid lane, a little bit of a dangerous spot, and a lockdown is there. The Horrify, anti-synergy a little bit, but Greymane is going to be okay. Here comes the backup. CW going to buy some time, and he's going to be able to pull back. Slowing sense, though, where is the follow-up? Nothing of that sort. They gave up the camp. They're doing it halfway. Do they want to finish that?
It depends. Lucky to get out of that alive. As we have ourselves a quick pause. Update, by the way, on Chromie's Q at level 1. 20 out of 25 stacks or hits have been obtained. Resurgence starting to turn things around a little bit.
As usual, early game, don't really have that kind of a lead. In fact, in all the games they won, they don't really have the early game lead. Even in the one they lost as well.
What's the point? I mean, if you win the game, it doesn't matter how you got there. You just got there.
Well, for me, I think it's just being too complacent. It's just that. You have to respect the ETC. You have to respect no cleanse. You pointed that out very nicely. No level 16 on Karazim. He's not going to be able to help you out of sticky situations. There's always the entangling route. And I have to give Stronger the shout out here. Such good entangling routes throughout the first halftime right now, right? So first half of this game.
He's done well. You know, we were able to highlight the supports in some of the earlier games because their cleanses, their plays were so on point. Stronger's tried to do a lot for his team, and he's probably been the best support in the entire tournament. But then we have a lot of other people making plays, and sometimes, you know, we kind of cycle back to that because things like that start to stick out, and he's done really well. I mean, it's an easy follow-up off of the composition that they have. I mean, if you say, I'm playing Malfurion and you've got ETC, that's fine, but he does much more than that, like you said. So, you know, it's the positioning of things that he does, the placement of the abilities that he's using. So, you know, a lot of good things so far, but I think when we looked at the core health, I think they're only up 4, maybe 6 shots now.
Yeah, they are. Let me just do this calculation a little bit. Currently, you have Conbox SEA ahead, but by a very, very small margin. The boss is down. The forts are still standing. Who do you think can push a little bit faster to get the advantage? There's always that 3 alta phase in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of reminiscent of game number 1, where once Chromie had slowing sands, it just really thwarted a lot of the pushes. And so when you look at that dynamic, it makes it difficult.
That's
There's
not
the
gonna
time
work.
trap. There's the slowing sands. And it's very difficult to engage past that. You have a heavy engage comp, but it's very difficult to engage through that.
It is. Okay,
Thanks, Chromie, for making that happen as soon as we come back.
All right. So Yu Yang now with in a bit of a rough spot. CW, in fact, is the one. Almost level 13 here for Resurgence. They need to clear out the bottom lane a little bit, maybe find a kill. I don't know. Be very safe. Anubarak on top needs to come down right about now. It's a single Alta phase, and they get that level 13. And SJ on the false stack takes a bit of damage, but is still fine at the end.
It's a little bit of a weird position. Both the Warriors for Resurgence are just now coming down from the top left, while the rest of the team positioned a little bit further down. Again, Chromie will excel here. We're going to see if Stage Dive is used aggressively. Look for slowing sands to be a big factor in the positioning of Conbox. I think they're waiting for that to come out before they start to posture up. So both teams being a little bit more reactive. If you are able to channel the altar, you force the other team to come to you.
Okay, Muradin, a little bit of a trouble there. Stage dive directly on top of Chromie, slowing sands being used in the back lane. NSJ dropping so low. The Horrify connects beautifully. Julian waiting for the pump to go out there. CW is going to jump back out. A Clant and the reverse gust. CW is still alive. Some of Zace is still alive. Julian is still alive. Everyone's okay. And Capricorn does not have a healer next to him, completely out of position. They're not going to be able to take this fight right now.
Yeah, I mean, they recognize that he was down there, and we see Anubarak able to get out of there, but the power slide over onto Julian, onto Anubarak. Down goes Anubarak, Chromie down as well. That is a big win for Conbox, as they will now have an 8 core health lead. And just gotta...
It could be some latency problem. I'm told that Capri just disconnected from the game. Maybe he rage quit, we don't know. Just saying.
I mean, he landed a few skill shots at the bottom. He actually almost confirmed 2 kills. Gul'dan and Falstad dangerously close to falling. Malfurion keeping his team alive. Again, Stronger making the plays at the bottom, recognizing, and you see the little swoop down there. But Falstad, man, he was close to death. Anubarak dove in, gusted Anubarak away.
Stayed alive.
Conbox.
Malfurion again,
Yeah.
regrowth. So good. Kept Falstad alive. At the end of the day, it's the fact that Conbox rotated down, picked up the Chromie, ended the engagement there and then. Resurgence was spread all across. And that's not what you want to do with this kind of comp. You really just want to have a bit of a concentrated front with Muradin, a solo warrior. Sorry, they do also have Anubarak, but he's like all the way far right because of the Gus, right? So that's a bit of a dangerous spot to be in. You have one Chromie. You want to have a good setup. You want to have some good burst going in. And I'm just not seeing that synergy.
I'm a little bit surprised. So Chromie obviously going full damage, trying to get extra range, trying to get the extra damage on her Q, getting the piercing sand. So a lot of utility. The thing that you did not pick up at your level 11, which is the 13, you didn't go timeout. And so that's a 7-second basically ice block. If you're not familiar with it, you just go into stasis and you're like, I don't want to come out of this until I'm ready. Please go away. And so that option, you got to think with a stage dive. If you have a heavy engage comp with a stage dive, that might be something to consider. You already had 10 locked in for ETC, but opting to go more utility-based, you got to think maybe that would have saved lives. I mean, it's good to look back, hindsight, but I mean, just things to consider talent-wise if you're playing against that type of comp.
Couple of things also to consider is the fact that maybe you get a better positioning on the Chromie. It's a little bit aggressive to be walking in that direction.
By
It would have
yourself.
been a lot. It would have been a lot better. Would have been a lot better if he was actually around the altar area. They already hit past the half mark on the altar, so that is where they could have landed. He could have landed directly in the back line, but he was greedy. He wanted to pick out the false stat, which is okay. But coming in from below and getting caught out like that, you're gonna have to pay.
Well, you paid the price with your life. And Anubarak obviously going in. He paid the price on his way out. Believe we are headed back into the game as we are reconnected here. Again, an 8 core health lead where Conbox just had a couple of kills on Anubarak and Chromie to extend their lead a little bit more. Full level lead in favor of Conbox.
All right, Chromie respawning right there in just about 3 seconds. Anubarak's also going to be back. So in case you just missed the action there, it was a pretty good engage on the side of Conbox SEA. Mur buying time. This is the choke point. They're all going to come in, and they are not granted access to this cam here.
I think it's VIP only. But Mur coming in, the face melt with the power slide. Looking to make plays, but Falstad and Dahaka doing global things by soaking up that XP, and I think that is very much in their favor because right now, Resurgence needs to make up a level and a half lead.
Yeah, very, very effective. See, the route is so on point from Stronger. CW now looking for a fight. Gets a stun on the Gul'dan. Yu Yang with the flank on Stronger. Mer goes in for a stun. A 3-man burst coming in. Julian, oh, quick in, quick out. And gotta be very careful here. I think it's almost a 3 ulta phase. The boss is back up. This could just easily be game for Conbox if they get a team wipe. Same thing can be said for Resurgence, I think. Is it enough damage?
They're looking for a pick, and they're not going to find it. And
16.
Conbox with 16 talent tier advantage, they're going to play it slow, walk into the time trap, give you a vision. CW, he's going to play that anchor. Keep an eye, see who comes through.
Okay, CW with a bit of a stun. Dragon Breath connects a little bit, but Regrove's going to deny that damage completely.
It was actually really good use. I mean, he went for his heal talent, which new ETC, when you use an ability, you grant yourself 20 armor, and he did just that.
Okay, this is the 3 ulta phase. Easily could have been game here.
You're talking 3 globals on the side of Conbox. Luckily for Resurgence, it's the middle altar, not the one at the very bottom, but Murr getting locked down. The Horrify has been used, Babel.
And it seems like Twilight Dream is going to connect quickly, and CW not able to pop the Avatar. Yu Yang goes in for the bite finish onto Murr. Murr's already got a gas on Julian. They want to kill Capricorn. They get it, but they also take out the I think it was the Malfurion in the backline. Zappy now dropping as well, but look at that. Yu Yang going in, says no Horrify. This is bad. Julian also with Iron Fist doing a lot of work. He pops the Divine Palm.
He is
walks back out.
dangerously low. Zappy with the impale to save everybody is so low. Zappy using his shields. It's like you want to have multiple cameras. Zappy was actually full on poison damage, but with his trait, he secured himself those shields. Now we're going to see Greymane rotate to the middle altar, but Dahaka already brush stalkering in. Can he make it? You get that extra movement speed out. In comes the stage dive.
Okay, Barrow being used. CW comes in, lands a stun. And already could see CW still locking in on the Dahaka. It will be a kill. Zappy very, very low. But the shields prop. Murr now. Little bit of trouble. Chromie not landing the skill shot. And the Alta's already lost cost. Murr looking to run away. And a stun just for show.
Yeah, they're going to drop back. I think the call here, obviously, Anubarak needs health, needs mana. But getting control of some of these camps down here might be a really good thing for Resurgence to gain some map control. Neither team has managed to take down a bell tower. It's just been a lot of fighting. We've got 19 total kills on the board so far.
All right, 16 to 20. Still not really convincing for a team to win. There's not going to be another 3 Alta phase for a little bit. Here we have level 16 talents getting picked up already, so Karazim is going to have to cleanse. Slowing Sands just denying access all day long. Do know level 20 though, you may be expecting Malfurion with Bolt of the Storm, so that will help close that gap a little bit. Great push here.
Yeah, this is a massive, massive amount. We're going to see if Murr can get the stun on them. He's not willing to commit the power slide. 2 have gone in. It looks like the rest will be cleared up, so the bell tower will stand. Falstad, though, got to be careful. He's actually in a tough position. He just misses the Storm Bolt. He's able to fly away.
So close.
Getting away by the skin of his feathers.
Okay, Murr now. Dropping a little bit of HP. Storm Bolt, if it connected, would have been disastrous for Falstad, just saying. Here, though, we're looking at Conbox playing a very tight lineup. And they are also rotating to the mid lane. Karazim is here. Got to be a little bit careful, too.
Continuing to poke here. I think both teams not necessarily willing to back down. Both looking for a fight. CW going on the backside, doing some damage. The power slide over onto Murd. The grab, there's the cleansing touch at 16 for Karazim. Every time he dashes, we'll have that cleanse available. Julian so far has been on point all the way around. Murden going imposing presence, baby. Looking to hit that backline pretty hard on Falstad.
All right. Murr again, a little bit out of spot there. The boss and the burst will connect a little bit, but CW dropping so low. The pump does connect onto Julian. Mosh pit, stage dive into nothing there. It looks like a boss attempt. And Ever on the Dahaka going really deep. Chromie, though, trying to just pull a little bit of a interrupt here against Stronger. You got to always factor in the fact that they can land the skill shots from both sides. Okay, but they get it anyway. Ever on the Dahaka got the channel on this one, so it's 8 versus 20. This is a lead for Conbox SEA.
Yeah, the other thing is they have the full level lead, of course, with the last few kills again. giving them a dangerously close 20, and I want to see what they'll do with it. Again, they've gotten the picks. They haven't really established a huge lead. Again, nobody has taken down a single bell tower. I think that is about to change. Well, you still have Chromie, but we'll see.
Okay. So, Mercenary Camp's getting picked up here. Something Pill going down. Mur looking for the setup. Stun Zappy, Barrow charge. Does he have it? He does not. And the pump just a second too slow. Julian, though, still giving chase. Gul'dan goes down. The pump goes on to Yu Yang. And the burst on NSJ, but he's still alive. Julian again with the read and dash. CW in the back line. Chromie just landing those bombs. How long can it go on for?
I don't know how many lives Julian has, but my goodness. He is on point with a lot of what he's doing. CW, though, got to be careful.
Ooh.
Oh, my.
That was close.
I'm pretty sure Dahaka, he's hashtag calculated.
Boy, are you bad at math. All right, so 18 against 20, mid lane.
Dahaka lived.
Yeah, I mean Chromie. I meant Chromie there. All right, so 19 against 20 here. Still no Stomp talents for Resurgence. They may want to pick up the boss here. But it's a little bit of an aggressive maneuver. They can do so because they got 2 burst damage dealers in this phase. Does Mur want to stage dive in? Do they have any indication it's a boss attempt? No one's shown on the map yet. And no, they don't know.
It's a good call. They do need to rotate down to defend against these sappers. And I think that was a really good call by Resurgence. They do not want to lose the bottom bell tower because you will not have that retreat point. You will only be able to fight along the middle. Looking to interrupt the rotations again. Nubrak able to get out there.
All right. Still, we have some sappers pushing the bottom area. Not going to be good. I don't think it's enough to take down the bell tower, but Ulta's going to activate in just under 5 seconds. You see Conbox positioning well. Karazim died somewhere. That's a big problem now.
That might have actually just secured game. You are 20 to 19. That is 2 members down, and you only have 8 core health. NSJ just flying right out with that epic mount. Barring a miracle, this is game.
We still have Chromie buying time on the top side. Stage dive comes in. CW still buying time again. Chromie, no one is addressing the Chromie, and Dahaka cannot do anything about it. Can they sustain long enough? 2 versus 4, though. That's my question. Dahaka now, oh, he's pissed off. He's going to come after the Chromie, but does not find her anywhere. CW solo will go down. I think maybe not. Moonfire, not enough. Lets a stun, walks away. Minions with those pitchforks giving chase. Zappy goes down. Mur picks up the kill. This should be game.
Oh, my. Whew.
So close. Such a close game. A couple of mistakes here and there. Zappy getting caught out. Mur obviously showing that stage dive was useful in the first fight. Nothing past that. And also, you got to give respect there to those entangling routes. Just so
multiple times they pathed right down through, and every single time ETC is like, I'm waiting. So is everybody else. So Nubrak got caught out one time. Karazim got caught out. Come around, get to a safe spot. Instead, they felt comfortable there. They weren't able to pull out. I guess 9 lives were up for Julian, as he was the first to get caught out. The minute he goes down, it's basically over. It's a miracle at that point. That you would be able to obtain 1 altar, get enough kills for that. Murden did everything he could with that healing static to stay alive. Resurgence held on far longer than I think that they deserved.
Definitely. Very good macro play by Conbox. 2 + 1, 3 globals there, and insane soak. It's the level lead. It boils down to that. The fact that it can take some fights at certain levels, whereas for Resurgence, just being denied of the opportunity. Of course, good sapper calls overall, but Towers of Doom belongs to Conbox as SEA.
Unless I'm missing something, that was one of the first Towers of Doom games. I'm pretty sure that a bell tower never went down.
Yeah, it did not.
Am I wrong? It was 4-4 the entire time.
It was.
Gosh, we've been casting so long today, it's like, I might be wrong.
No,
it's making me question myself.
Okay, so the thing is that they both don't have push potential, I feel. Chromie can poke away at the bell tower, but don't think it is effective enough for a take. Now that we are also going to a second game. That was the first game, by the way. Game number 1, Conbox SEA 1-0.
Going to Infernal, right?
We're going to Infernal. That's right.
That was where Chromie first got picked up. And Capricorn went to town.
Yeah, this time around, not so much. Not so much.
Not the same type of success.
Not the same type of success. Probably because they are expecting the response. You can see that Conbox is already there. There's also some spike on the side here for Capricorn. Therefore, the pause is there. And even the rage quit. Highlights are ready, by the way, so let's relieve some of the moments here from game number 1.
Yeah, we're going to see the slowing sands obviously doing a lot, but Murr going in. He actually slid right into that. So Yu Yang, watch Yu Yang. He's still going to confirm another kill. Good ice block by Stronger. There was so much going. Watch Zappy when he gets out of here.
All right, so the gust against Julian made sure that Chromie could not survive. Yu Yang picked up a kill. Both of them up against Zaze. Zaze just decided to stood there and just heal a little bit. Meanwhile, Divine pumped and he walks out. Okay.
Everybody's health bar is basically not a Yu Yang, Karazim, like nobody had health. That's amazing.
20 against 28. At this point, it's still pretty even. Somewhere along the line, something happened, and that is catching the Karazim. It wasn't caught on camera, but it was somewhere along the mid altar. You can see his cups there. Right away.
That's a terrible feeling. We don't see him, but we see his corpse, and you can see not able to take down NSJ. Good flight over. CW, man, I mean, we're 19 minutes, 20 seconds, and CW just goes hammered.
Okay, stage dive into nothing. Connect on Zappy a little bit, but then you have Chromie who's buying so much time. You see the pings coming out, but the team just ignores those pings. The Haka is so angry that he's like, all right, I'm coming.
Wait, there's a time change. CW's still living. No big deal. Healing static for days. Moonfire can't kill me. Minions can't kill me. Here's a Stormbolt. Everything else going on. I mean, it's the beginning of the end when Karazim went down, and you know it was just a formality after that as Conbox took game number 1. They came out with a vengeance. That was 18 kills to 9 at the end of that.
It was. Really, really good pickoffs. I think Zappy was dropping up a little bit. We have Chromie, bad positioning, dropping as well. And then the hyper-aggressive Karazim. But still, Julian, those plays.
Stage dive, full Chromie. I mean, that's like,
Yeah.
you have 0 interrupts for a mosh pit, but I don't want to deal with Chromie, so if all else fails, I'm just going to dive on you.
It's a little bit questionable because if that's going to be the case, you might as well set up the slowing sands for your team, right? Instead of for yourself. You're right. Could have picked the save me, the help button, 7 seconds, stay in stasis, and just be a burden. But at least Chromie would have survived, and some form of reaction could be coming out there from Resurgence. But here we have game number 2, Inferno Shrines. What do you expect is going to go down here?
I got a feeling that if we don't see an early Chromie pickup, it'll probably be a second ban on Chromie. And I believe this is going to be first pick for... Who did we have first pick last time? That was Resurgence. So Resurgence will only have 2 picks before the second ban phase because they're going to be second pick this time. And very rarely will you see somebody commit to a Chromie with your first 2 picks before the second ban. And so if they do that, it's very telling that they are wanting to lean a lot on that just because of their game 1 success in the first part of the grand finals, obviously rubber match now. So they're going to lean a lot on that, but I highly doubt that will happen.
Don't think so. They need to find another strategy again.
Gul'dan, I'm okay with an early Gul'dan pickup. And Gul'dan there's been a heavy contention over Gul'dan all day, and especially between these 2 teams.
Yeah. If not banned, it's always picked up. The ban, though, in Tales of Doom just now was Tassadar. So does RSG want to deal with the Tassadar, or do they want to deal with the Gul'dan? It's A or B. Similarly, can they pull off a strategy? Do know they picked this battleground, so they better have something planned up for it. It could also be a preference comfort thing. But right now, just waiting for the players to get ready before we start game number 2.
I'm ready. The excitement's still there. I feel like there was moments for Resurgence, but it didn't feel like they were game 1 and 3. It felt more like the game 2 on not quite that bad on Braxis. So I'm looking for Resurgence to bounce back, maybe resurge back into this match.
I don't know.
Bad puns, Babel. Bad puns.
I don't know if they're going to pull a Kerrigan.
Again, in the current meta, Kerrigan is not as highly prioritized. It is an SEA.
It is.
But I think that if you want to counter a Kerrigan, there's a lot of options. And, we haven't seen Diablo. Diablo does really well on Infernal Shrines. And if you want to control any frontline hero, if you're going up against a Sonya, if you're going up against a Kerrigan, things like that, the hyper-aggressive heroes that need to be locked down, else they just roam free in there, whether it's Whirlwind, whether it's the Ravage going out, you just use Diablo, hit E, slam them over. And it interrupts what they're doing. And any of those two heroes that get interrupted in the middle of that become priority targets. And so I'm not saying Diablo is the end-all, be-all, but there's a lot. You've got ETC, you've got Murd, and you've got things like that that can really disrupt a lot of what's going on there.
All right, so waiting for updates on word of the next game, but you're watching the Southeast Asia Mid Season Brawl qualifier here, Rabaset. Game 1, 1-0, Conbox, SEA. Just one more game. Here are your champions.
I mean,
do you think it is going to go down to the wire all the way?
It feels very reminiscent of 2 months ago. Back in February, Resurgence, they won out. They made it all the way to the grand finals, lost. But because they had won out in the winner's bracket, they were able to fight back, ended up winning. Right. Conbox, they won out. They got beat in the grand finals, and we're back here at the rubber match again.
All right, so the lobby is ready. We'll find out who is our champions in just a bit. Now, game number 2 going to Infernal Shrines. Whew, I'm ready, J-How.
I'm ready too. And again, I want to see what strategy Resurgence is going to go with. It seems like what's worked for them some of the time doesn't necessarily work all the time.
All right. Zeratul ban, the usual respect ban against Zappy. Just totally 0 games on Zeratul in a series against Conbox SEA. For Resurgence, though, opting for a couple of bans. It's going to be Teslar again, so they may be considering giving the Muradin over to Conbox.
Yeah, I think Tassadar is the appropriate ban here. Again, we talk about the battlegrounds that he's actually good on without somebody to enable Infernal Shrines being one of his best maps just because of the clear. So no surprise here, but you open up the door for a lot of things you potentially don't want to deal with, but this is definitely the safer option for both teams.
It is. Okay, Muradin is going to be probably first pick if it's not banning. Okay, Gul'dan banned. They decided no Gul'dan. It was too much to work with in the last game, just insane amount of damage there. It is a squishy, but just somehow Zace was able to survive. Muradin going to Conbox.
He has taken over the #1 spot, Babel.
It is.
He has done so much work.
So hard to work around at Muradin sometimes that you actually have to pick off your enemy heroes, and then they have to insist on the fight. Did you see how long CW was alive there?
Forever.
Yeah, so.
Forever. The thing about Resurgence is they are not a TAS Vala team. I think TAS Greymane is a great option, but it just doesn't seem like they're willing to commit to it. Greymane, if you go cocktail build, although we've seen some different builds throughout the day, if you go cocktail build, it does really good on Shrine Control. You can stay in the human form, continue to contribute to that. So can Tassadar. Plus, if you decide you want to go in, pre-shielded go in. But maybe, just maybe, if it's not a comfort thing, maybe it's just they don't have Tassadar as highly valued with the recent changes.
Okay. I'm hoping it's TAS. But like you said, they're not a TAS. In fact, I think they are. But still sticking to Greymane Falstad now. And we have also 2 more picks here for Conbox SEA. Greymane Falstad going to Resurgence. The Haka is going to be an option here. Infernal Shrine is very big battleground. You still want to always have that global option. Don't think we're going to see an ETC ban from Resurgence, so Conbox probably will be thinking of that. Instant TAS Vala.
Yeah, you give up TAS Vala, and you already locked in 2 of your ranged damage dealers in Greymane Falstad, which means Vala is infinitely safer now. So now when you draft, if you're Resurgence, you need to find a hero that you can engage with. And not engaging on a TAS Vala will hurt a lot. I highly doubt they'll be going triple ranged. Again, Greymane can hop into human form. Chromie seems less likely now. But, man, drafting both of your damage dealers right away, leaving TAS Vala could be problematic.
The last time they did this was in the Tomorrow's Battle Queen game, where they drafted the damage dealers straight up. Arthas gonna get picked up, gonna get banned up here by Resurgence, so still gonna have a bit of emphasis on the front line. Chromie ban though. Not sure if respect ban or just we don't want to deal with this anymore.
So what? And now what do you do? I mean, it almost feels like ETC, it might be the playmaker you're looking for. I mean, it's not necessarily a necessity. Stitch's value that we already saw, less value with this composition, less value on this map. So you start to run into things like ETC, Varian. Again, Diablo, I think, wouldn't be bad if you want to dive in and hit that back line. We talked about Tyrael in the last game. Tyrael actually does well on this battleground, and he has dive potential with a Greymane.
You're right. Tyrael, in fact, even in the last game, if Tyrael was picked, it could have been a little bit better in terms of teamfight synergy-wise. Gus was just so good against Chromie. It's going to be a Rhaegar Sonya. So Sonya will be the hero that's going to clear the objective here. Tassadar is the one that's going to do a lot of work from Conbox SEA.
I wouldn't be surprised if Conbox just goes Muradin Arthas and just controls the front line and lets Vala and Tassadar. Oh, excuse me, I missed the Arthas ban. My apologies.
No problem, but Muradin still strong. Last pick probably going to be, I don't know, man. This spells Stitches to me.
I would be so hesitant to go Stitches. Just it's so much more difficult to land hooks. And you don't have the same type of blow-up comp. Or a Totem only adds a slow. Falstad adds a slow with his Q. Greymane, unless you just get a hook into a Cursed Bullet, it's not necessarily a same type of blow-up comp. I feel like it's got to be ETC. You can engage with an ETC, Sonya, Greymane. And I think that's what you're going to have to do against Conbox.
Dahaka being picked up. Auriel. Okay, so not only do they have Tassadar, they got Auriel here. Insane amount of heals already, but just pinning all the damage on one Vala. It will be the Tyrael.
Interesting. Tyrael into a team that is more auto-attack centric.
Yeah.
Tyrael received some changes lately. More of an anti-spell damage hero nowadays.
True.
But he does add the dive potential. I just think that Auriel does have the Crystal Aegis available. You know, might not necessarily be a lot about the fight again. Vala, you know, I talk so much about it. Her level 1 talent is very easy to keep up, to keep max stacks of hatred because the skeletal defenders are around there. Tassadar will obviously enable that. Adds to the clear. Dahaka adds to the clear. Auriel, if she decides to go Syrian Light, but Muradin will hold down the front line. You have good shrine control, I think, if you are on the side of Conbox.
I am not sold on Conbox draft this game. Totally not sold.
Vala, Tass, Dahaka, Auriel?
Yeah, not sold.
If you were in NA, people are like, man, that's a good draft.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
So you like Resurgence draft here?
No, I think I know what they're trying to do. And it's a little bit more like a Korean draft, if you ask me. Jumping into the back line and all. But hold that thought, though, because, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 in the rubber set. Going to start right about now. Resurgence versus Conbox SEA. 1-0 for Conbox. In the blue team, Resurgence, Yu Yang going to be playing the Sonya. Capricorn on the Falstad, CW as the Tyrael, Zappy will be playing the Greymane, and Julian on Rhaegar.
And on the right for Conbox, you're going to see Stronger on the Auriel, Innovir on Dahaka. Muradin's going to be played by Mur one more time. Zay's on Vala. Rounding it out is going to be NSJ on Tassadar.
All right, so for this game here, it's the game point. Game point for Conbox SEA. Want to make sure that at least they are able to get a bit of a lead here. If they win this, it's over. If they don't, we go to the third and final game. But boy, this is hype. 25 seconds in, you see the strategy already unfolding here. Tyrael and Rhaegar in the bottom area, probably scouting up some rotation. You see Sonya top lane against a global. That will be the Dahaka. Sonya will be soloing the lane. Falstad being a little bit more mobile.
If Falstad had gone auto attack build, I would be wondering if this might be a bloodlust game. I don't. It might still be a possibility, but I highly doubt it.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Mur now, a little bit of trouble. Zappy swings by. You're going to be okay. All right, so Sonya on top just doing a little bit of work against Dahaka, but they're clearing the lanes equally fast. It's a 2-2. They're not rotating as 4 on the side of Resurgence. Every time mid is missing, they go back and rings repeat. Very standard strategy.
Yeah, I mean, you have pretty good wave clear there, and you just see Auriel continue to come over, not going Syrian Light, opting to leave the rest of that damage on the shrines to the rest of the team, going into the whip build, the ribbon build.
We saw Stronger on Auriel just now. Very effective detainment strikes. So good. But here, bottom lane getting pushed in already. Zappy gonna be all right. Murr playing very aggressive though. Doesn't find anyone there.
Yeah, zero threat. He's like, I'll just jump in here, no big deal. Not much going on, but it is going to be the first shrine activating right about now. We're going to see who clicks on it first. It's going to be Sonya, who, again, does have a really good clear on that front line. Not a whole lot in terms of that hard lockdown. Dahaka will be hard to land a tongue in there. Murden obviously can add some slows in if he can land the Stormbolt, but Sonya might get free reign for a little bit of times around these shrines.
All right, so Resurgence is posturing up for the shrine. And right now, about now, Vala is swinging by again. Murr with the Thunderclap, the stun on the Greymane. We get a little bit of Guardians there to drag on to Sonya. Sonya dropping a little bit of HP there. Gonna be okay. Zaze though, a little bit of overextension will be okay. Capricorn throwing out a Hammerang. Does not get anything. You're getting walled out because of the bully position that Dahaka and Murr has. Just a very good synergy, just always sticking together. Yu Yang goes in for the whirlwind, gets stopped. Murr looking for a little bit more. You see the slams coming out. 32 against 26. Capricorn still doing a little bit of damage, but Sonya will fall. Julian will also go down. Murr now. Somehow, somebody's pinging him, but
Greymane goes down as well. All I got to say is Zay's making plays there, but set up by the detainment strike from Oro. You talked about Stronger making those.
One more. CW gets it, but at what cost?
Trait value.
Okay.
Gosh dang, man. If you're watching a support, you want to see somebody making plays for his team, watch Stronger on Ario. That guy, making plays all day.
All right, so going back to soak the lanes, and you're right, Stronger on the support, very nicely done. Detainment strikes, man, just so effective. And already you could see mid lane, even the front structures are not going down. This is what happens when you get a Punisher without any hero pushing the lane.
All right, so one thing to keep an eye on, we talked about potentially diving in with Sonya, with Greymane, with Tyrael, with Rhaegar. See the extra barrel roll range for Falstad. It can help set up Gus, it can help disengage if you need to get away, but it can also help you engage if you're just trying to look to dive in with your team. So I'm curious how aggressive Resurgence is really going to be.
Well, remains to be seen here. Level 7 just hit here by Conbox. They are one level up against Resurgence. Top lane still same old story. There's Sonya up against the Haka. Nothing much can be said. Here's just AFK getting slammed on but doesn't care because he's a Dahaka. He's got essence to consume. He's going to be happy.
Yeah, again, Dahaka, we saw it last game. We're seeing it again. The extra essence off of takedowns, which means that if you get the takedowns in the middle of the fight, it helps survive a little bit longer. It means that you're also missing out on that extra essence from the minions to start the fight, which is the way a lot of teams tend to do it. But a little bit different build here coming out for Conbox.
Okay, Rhaegar now going for the double lightning shield there. The stun on the Tyrael, so on point. Zay's dropping a little bit stronger. Goes in for some heals. He's going to be okay.
Well, Greymane hitting that full cocktail build again will apply great clear around the shrine when it does come time. Camp picked up at the top left for Resurgence. We're going to see a return of the same for Conbox as the next shrine phase. You'll be getting the timer here real soon.
Okay. So we're all just waiting for the next shrine. Of course, when that happens, Resurgence may actually not be level 10. Conbox, they look like they are in position. It is going to be the top shrine, though. RNG not being very helpful here.
One thing that does help is that Falstad's already at the bottom with Dahaka. He's having to walk all the way down, which means his team's rotations are going to be a little bit slower. Falstad will use his global to go to the top and match as needed. Dahaka has rotated to the bottom. Tassadar, this is going to give early shrine control over to Resurgence, so this is something that's working out in Resurgence's favor.
Okay, nice juke set by Zappy. He's going to be fine. Totem coming out already. Vine Totem. Now, bottom lane still. Falstad cleared 2 lanes. He cleared the mid. He's going back to the bottom. You can see Conbox just taking a very aggressive position. They're looking for the level 10. Not going to get it just yet. Dahaka not going to go up as well. 22 Guardian counts only. And CW taking a bit of a beating there, but manages to finish up some more Guardians. 29 and counting. Here comes Dahaka. Falstad nowhere close. No level 10. CW dropping very low now. Yu Yang with infinite whirlwind value. But Tyrael goes down first. The burst is going to go through. Julian dropping will go down. And Falstad just too late to the party.
Mir has just enough health. He's going to get the heal. And that they're going to come up a little bit short. Not like last time. It's going to be a Punisher, a level 10 push. There's no way. I mean, you try and push in there to grab that, you basically forfeit.
Okay.
But this is definitely a fort. You're down heroics. This is definitely a fort, but if you give up and stagger kills at this point, it will snowball real quick.
You're right. Probably don't want to overcommit here. Capricorn playing safe, and then we have the first Punisher for Conbox SEA. Punisher coming out already, half a level away from level 10. Resurgence going to buy some time. Sonya in the mid lane, again up against the Haka. CW, instant run away there on Eldruin's Might.
They're posturing right now. Mirror is very aggressive. Dahaka has come in, the Brush Stalker at the back. Look for the disengage. Zappy trying to make sure he can get away. Good cleanse, allowing him to walk away. Nicely done there, but Tyrael is going to fall in the back line.
Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Sonya's back here. They're waiting for the level 10. They're going to get it. They lose a fort. Nothing more than that. One Tyrael is okay at this stage. But still, 2-level lead for Conbox. It's going to be a bit hard.
Trade
for
value,
Falcon to catch
people. That's what we got to think. It is going to be the leap again.
You're just going to get out of there.
Okay, was that a leap because you planned on going leap, or is that a leap because you got to get the heck out of Dodge? Because if that's the reason, that's a big mistake, but I got a feeling they're looking to dive in with this Great Main Cop. Anyways, still not the most efficient use of your heroic the minute you hit him.
50 seconds. Murray is like, just waiting for a jump. Okay, no more. Yu Yang just latching himself onto Murden. Not going to be easy. Here comes the stun. The Ancestor goes down. Even the Sanctification. Murr still dropping in the background there. Will be going down. Maybe Julian looking for the bite. Doesn't get it. Capricorn also not going to be able to get it. Capri does drop in the end. Too aggressive on the false stat.
Yeah, Yu Yang is already committed to that back line. Julian's in there trying to support his team, but he's going to pay with his lives. CW is being assaulted by Vala. Zappy getting caught out. Was that an Eldruin's juke out the back door? Tyrael's like, let me use all of these seconds that I have. He's still doing it.
It's a nice try. Still, level lead hasn't really changed much. 11 against 13 there. But this is what happened when you don't have leap as Sonya, because you used it to run away.
Yeah, I mean, if they had taken down Murden at the very beginning, we actually saw Julian decided he had one more bite left, and he ended up re-engaging onto the main front as we saw Capricorn try and dive the back line with that extra barrel roll range. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to commit the kill. Overextension cost them their lives, and now they find themselves 2.5 levels down, people.
Well, it is 12-0 for good reason here. Conbox, SEA, CW, not able to stop this Brush Stalker. So we have a shrine completely under the control here for Conbox.
Right now, Resurgence, they're not out of it, but they're definitely a little bit behind. They don't necessarily have to fight over this. They can pretty much give up a Punisher, give up another fort, get 13, and you'll have an opportunity in between phases. Leap is now going to be available, so is Sanctification. They are picking the fight anyways, Babel.
All right, Tyrael going to be okay to leave onto the back line now. We're already going to see some slams coming in, and now we have the complete all-in, but is it enough for a kill? Don't think so. Murr looking for the stun, not going to get it. Ancestral already being used, Sanctification as well. Yu Yang, he is too deep. He is not going to be able to make it out alive. The all-in did not work there.
The damage is not there, Babel, and right now, Conbox continues to walk away. And Stronger is just keeping his team alive. Good recognition for the team to group up, getting that mad hope value out of Zaze as he continues to terrorize Resurgence. I'm just really surprised they took that fight 14-12. It's a fight, it's risky, but it's almost unnecessary. Wait for 13, lose your fort, probably a little bit of keep wall damage, look for a fight after that. Instead, they just gave up a lot more in the process.
They did. CW now. Gotta be very careful. No more no more fort in the mid lane. So Punisher going directly straight to keep. Zappy though, don't want to get caught. Nice juke, gonna be okay. And you have Falstad in the bottom area doing a little bit of work. Almost level 13 now, but they are again a talent here down against 16. This is not gonna work out for long.
Yeah, Mir jumping in to help support the Punisher. Again, a Arcane Punisher, one of the more terrifying ones because of those sentries going around.
Looking for a Gus. I don't know what Capricorn is doing in the background there. The flank. And Yu Yang gonna be okay for now. Ooh, very painful Punisher to keep. Will be threatened. CW not able to do anything. Goes in directly to Gus onto the background there. And the leap on the tree. Greymane comes in. A Sanctification not used yet. Soon, there we have it, and Sonya gets healed back up to full HP. CW gives chase, but Greymane goes down. Instead, Zay's doing all the right-click work in the background. Yu Yang not able to do anything. NSJ dropping a little bit of HP. Man, the leap was good, the combo was there, but where is the damage?
Falstad zoned himself out, I think, for a large portion of that. He took so much damage just trying to flank on the back line that by the time he got over there, Murden just completely zoned him out that entire time. And we saw no value from Falstad, and there just wasn't anything that they could do. So right now, the damage isn't there. 3.5, almost 4 level lead for Conbox, who is already up 1-0. Babel, 16 kills to 0.
You're proving a point here. Rabba said, you want to play, we're game anyway, but look at this lead. 4-level lead. Almost impossible to throw.
I mean, you basically are going to have to take risky fight after risky fight from now on if you're Resurgence. There's no getting on even talent tiers for a while. So you're going to be forced to take another fight. NSJ, shield, dimensional shift, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. They're going to try and collapse bottom. This is an opportunity they can have. Mighty Gust is available if they can try and trap somebody.
There's leave as well. Mur, a little bit of trouble. Sonya goes in. Ancient Spear, but gets out immediately. Brustalker coming out. Sonya, a little bit of trouble now. A Gust to disengage instead. Okay, Resurgence, at this moment, they are already a little bit lost. Drag, with the increased range, still not going to connect. It's not that long.
It's just Conbox. Doing whatever they want. 4-level lead. Punisher up at the top. This is now a game-threatening Punisher. Not only is it hard to fight down a talent tier, but the sheer numbers from a 4-level advantage is monstrous in a team fight.
They picked the Sonya. They want to make sure Sonya has sustained. They need a level 16 for that. CW, again, a little bit of trouble here. Detainment Strike, and Stoneball, and Rain of Vengeance, and the Predictor Calculate the Maneuver. Murgo able to right-click, picks up the kill. This is not even going to make a dent.
Somebody's going to have to explain to me why Tyrael was there. You have multiple people bottom. You don't have pick potential. And you're just getting vision. You find yourself, you danced around and didn't even set your Eldruins up. The minute Rain of Vengeance came down, you had no way of escaping safely. I'm just, the decision making there, you've got to be critical of it. You've got to be critical of that decision making because now it's 4 versus 5, you can't contest, and you have a potential game-ending Punisher who'll be pushing down the top lane.
Yeah, because there's no meat keep. No way you're going to distract Mr. Punisher here from going away from the core. 20 against 40, 20 upon 40 right here. And Ever just bottom lane soaking. Capricorn gets a level 16, much needed level 16, but so late in this game.
You have Mighty Gust to force them away, but now you've got a Fallen Shaman camp, which was calculated in terms of the timing here. So that's going to be picked up. It's going to be pushing with the Punisher, which means the push is even scarier. Now they're just going in. They're going in for a fight. I think right now this is probably their best opportunity. The Eldruins is going to lock them in with the Holy Ground. The Crystal Aegis is there. Vala somehow staying alive, but she is the first to go down, Babel.
All right, Julian staying alive. The Ancestral connects on the Capricorn. Stronger trying to pull back. CW also going to be able to run back out. Oro still alive. Zeppe picks up the kill. Mur lands a stun. And the Haka going to be okay. Go for the throat on the backline. NSJ just landing those slow beams. Julian will also go down. Capricorn full HP, but this could be game. Yeah. I think it should be.
I mean, it is. They only have 3 people, and it's Murd and Tassadar Dahaka, so it's not exactly the most terrifying core rush team, but baiting the Punisher over, buying you a little bit of time. This is going to be a tough defense. It's not impossible. You have 15 seconds on Mighty Gust. If you can stay alive, but the rewind is there. Falstad taking a lot of damage, able to get away for the moment.
CW, he may go down here,